Now we come to the topic of revealed preferences. Up to now we've dealt a lot with utility functions and indifference curves, but the problem is that they cannot be observed directly, so they are more concepts with which we rationalize the behavior of households. However, consumers could reveal their preferences, making different choices for given different budget constraints, for example, because the prices of goods change or the budget of the households change, and that would reveal their choices. And with these revealed choices, we could reconstruct the utility functions and indifference curves if we have enough data points available. How does this work in principle? Well, assume that we have again two goods, x1 and x2, and we have a certain budget constraint of the household, right? Now we have two different consumption bundles we can choose, A and B, say, and if the consumer chooses A given this setting, then we know that the consumer will always choose A whenever both of these choices are available. So for example, for a budget constraint that looks like this one here, where the price of good 1 increased and the price of good 2 decreased, still A and B are both in the affordable set, and we know that with this budget constraint, the consumer would also prefer A over B when it preferred A over B in the previous situation here. Now this is of high practical relevance because if we can construct different budget constraints for the households, we could in principle estimate their preferences. And that's also what supermarkets try to accomplish by having different discounts on the different goods and to observe the different choices that households make with these different discounts, and thereby they get valuable information on the actual preferences of households through their revealed preferences, through their choices given the different prices. In the context of revealed preferences, the four following concepts are frequently referred to. The first one being the weak axiom of revealed preferences, the second one the strong axiom of revealed preferences, then the generalized axiom of revealed preferences, and Arifat's theorem. What do they basically mean? So the weak axiom of revealed preferences we've basically already discussed. So when a consumer chooses the consumption bundle A over B and both are affordable, then A is chosen over B also for all other budget sets in which both of these choices are affordable. So that's the weak axiom of revealed preferences, or WARP. The strong axiom of revealed preferences is, as the name says, a bit stronger because it also requires the transitivity of preferences. So here we have again two options A and B, but we cannot compare them directly, but only in reference with an option C. So then if A is chosen over C and C is chosen over B, then the strong axiom of revealed preferences implies that A will be chosen over B when both are affordable. So that is exactly what we already know from the transitivity of preferences, so that no cycles occur where we prefer A over B, B over C, but then C over A. So that's ruled out here. Then we have the generalized axiom of revealed preferences, GARP, and that states that if A is either strictly preferred over B or the consumer is indifferent between the two, then it cannot be the case that B is strictly preferred over A. So this basically allows for indifference, which the previous ones did not allow for. So what this means is that if a consumer has a flat part of the indifference curve, and this flat part exactly coincides with the budget constraint, then along this flat part would all be allocations for which the consumer would be indifferent, or between the ones the consumer would be indifferent. And the generalized axiom of revealed preferences allows this to happen, and therefore it's more general than the weak axiom of revealed preferences. And finally, we have now Arifat's theorem that tells us that if we observe different choices of different consumers for different prices and wages, and the generalized axiom of revealed preferences holds, then these choices can all be rationalized by a continuous, strictly increasing and concave utility function. So that means that indeed we can represent the preferences with utility functions and with indifference curves. And we can reconstruct these preferences basically out of the different choices that we observe of the consumers. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I hope you found it interesting and useful. For more videos on economic content, please visit my channel that you find here to the left. And to the right, you see the next video in the series at the top, and at the bottom, you see the whole lecture in the form of a playlist.